when I describe this overnight success of Spartan that's taken 18 years, 15 of which we were losing money. Anybody with half a brain would have quit 3 years in, 4 years in, 5 years in, 10 years in. But I take a really, really long view in everything I do, never looking for the quick win. And I think the payoff that comes later is just much bigger and tastes better.
Wonder where he could be.
I think this is the right house on property. I don't see him
Oh, in here.
in there. Let me text him.
Oh.
Looks like we found him.
Paul?
Yeah.
Daisy.
Daisy.
Thanks for having us.
No problem. You guys ready to roll?
Yeah, let's do it.
I think if I didn't grow up in Queens and see what I saw growing up, I might not have been chasing this. I'm glad I did. Not a lot of people find this. And it doesn't, I mean, I don't know if you guys agree, but it doesn't get better than this. We got a rock, we got a couple of logs, and a chain. What else do you need?
Let's go back.
It makes me feel like I'm on a couch in a psychologist's office.
You
with
might be.
So my father was doing really well when I was Catherine's age. When I was 6, 7, 8 years old. I mean, he was a hustler. And '87 stock market crash hits, and he starts to go broke, and he starts losing a ton of real estate he had accumulated over the years. And so I go from a bratty young kid who doesn't really want to get a job or go to college to someone that's watching my mother go buy a Chevrolet that she can't pay for because now they're divorced. And I'm thinking, like, how the hell am I going to get back to where we were? And my mother says, oh, it's really simple. You just got to work. And then it just so happens, serendipity, that my neighbor needs somebody to clean the pool, or maybe he was just looking out for me. And he brings me over, and I do a good job. And then he recommends another boss and another boss. And before you know it, I got 700 customers. And I'm cleaning pools and cleaning lawn furniture. And then they're saying, oh, can you do brickwork? Because I was a worker, right? I'd show up at Saturday night at 11 o'clock at night because that's all the time that was left. And I know they want the job done by next week. And I'm crushing it within a few years.
What are some lessons that you took with you from growing your pool and construction business?
If you don't have money in the game where you're on the hook and you told all your friends and your family you're going to do this and you're mortgaged up to your neck, then what happens? You pull the plug when the going gets tough. And guess what? There's no business where the going doesn't get. Everything that can go wrong does go wrong. So if you're not on the hook, like I would have never been successful in any business I've done if I had an escape, if I could escape. But you can't escape. You're on the hook. You got payroll. You've got employees to take care of. You can't leave. So like when you get bad news, which comes every single day, so what? That's the deal.
You grew up in Queens, and then you don't just walk onto Wall Street and get a job. So what was the moment that created an opportunity for that?
It turns out I have a cousin who's a recruiter down there, and he gets me a meeting with a guy who just happened to have an open mind that day. And I get a job on Wall Street you couldn't get any lower because they didn't even have a position for they didn't even know what to do with me.
Yeah.
So I end up on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, and I am getting yelled at for 30 grand. I was making $200,000 a year with my business. I'm now getting paid 30, and I'm getting screamed at. I can't do the math quick enough. I can't answer 6 phones at once. I'm not talented at this because I never did it.
Yeah.
And I start crying one day. What am I doing? Why would you immediately go back to where you were the big guy? Why, right? And I don't know, I decided to stick with it. The guy that pushed me to go on Wall Street said, you're going to have an issue if you are lucky enough to get a job here. I said, what's the issue? He said, you're going to have something they refer to as golden handcuffs. And I said, what is that? Because where I'd come from, everybody got silver handcuffs, and I went to jail. And he said, you're going to be making so much money that you can't leave. And I mean, we were doing $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a day. We had multi-million-dollar days it was unbelievable. And I understood then what he was talking about. Like, how do you leave this? But I knew it wasn't forever. I didn't want to sit in front of a computer my whole life. I wanted to get out and live.
Is there sort of a crystalline moment when you really executed in your mind the decision to make that pivot?
I find myself on Wall Street achieving what I'm hoping to achieve, which is financial success. And I stumble upon adventure racing. Felt like I was pouring cement again and laying bricks, but it was competitive. It was even better than that. And we were kayaking and biking and running. And I go, this is unbelievable. What's the next level? I got to do something harder. You have a race that's impossible. I want in. I got to do this as a business because I'm a natural entrepreneur. Everything I see, I want to do as a business. Maybe 50,000 lunatics together online, get their emails, build this cool website where they climb mountains, they ride bikes across the country, they swim across the English Channel, and I'll put on some races to promote it, and I'll sponsor some teams. And so from 2001 to like 2010, I am messing around with Peak.com and trying to get this to work.
And that's like you're trying to build a community, and the races are a vehicle to get that community going. Is that right?
I'm just thinking, look, there's probably only 50,000 people globally that would do this stuff. But those 50,000 people would inspire the world if we had a platform where we could showcase what's possible. Everything that could go wrong went wrong for about a decade. Just lost an insane amount of money. I had no business being in this business.
You're still running your other business?
Still running my other business. This is like a hobby. A guy said to me the other day, if you're gonna punch, it better be a knockout. Right? You don't punch and like not affect the person you're punching because it's coming back at you. We got this name Spartan. 700 people show up. From the start of the race to the end, which was only like 90 minutes max, people are transforming. And that was like, all right, we got to put more money into this. So open a second race and a third race. And then it was just like, then it even went further downhill because then I lost insane amounts of money. But I had no choice because then you're on the hook. Then once I announce a race, I'm spending $600,000 whether one person shows up or 5,000 people show up. As crazy as it was to go from Vermont to New York to Montreal to UK to Slovakia, eventually the world became aware that this thing was awesome and it was transformative, and then it just started working. Right? It's like the old shampoo commercial, like you tell two people and they tell two people, and so like it just happened one day. Because we started with a situation where we didn't have a lot of capital, and I was constantly trying to just keep the machine going. The people that came to work for us were very passionate. I had to do a global call one day because we were out of money again, and I said, look, here's the deal. I said, the only thing we could afford is $2,000 a month. Everybody's gonna get paid the same, $2,000 a month. And so 49 people stayed on. And so those people really do reflect the values of what this brand is.
So platforming from today at 5 million people to getting to 100 million people.
I got 95 million to go. I'm selling something that's a really tough sell, and it's getting harder, right? Because young kids we'd see kids running around 20 years ago right now, but kids are playing video games, including mine. And so I'm selling like discipline and hard work and commitment, and put down the glass of wine and the coffee and the cigarette, and that's a tough sell. And will it fall out of favor? It's already somewhat out of favor. I don't know.
You know, talking about like your kids, what are your goals for them as a father?
Well, first and foremost, I'm just focused on the kids.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not saying if I do this, it's going to help other people. I'm like, how could we do the best for our children? Number one goal, right? And so I'm just a believer. I don't know if I'm right or wrong. I was not a father before, but that hard work is always better than not. I made them start their own businesses.
What are their businesses?
Hachi Dragon is someday going to be a sushi restaurant, and
Nice.
Bonfire Charlie starts bonfires on the beach.
That's really fun.
I haven't been up here in a while. And that's not the girls. The girls are over here.
Do your kids feel like this stuff is like the starting businesses and the working on the morning, how much of it do they engage in it as play versus like things they have to do?
Jack is going to be 13, and I thought, at 13, maybe I say to him, hey, you're on your own now. You decide if you want to join us.
Yeah.
Like from 4 to 13, this is the program, like brushing your teeth. After that, you decide. I don't think it would be unreasonable for anybody, any partner, to say what she says, which is like, when is time for us? When are we going to smell the roses? When are we going to relax? You're always on. She goes, like, people will come up to me if we go to a race, right? Oh my God, Joe, let's get a picture. Let's hang out. You're unbelievable. And she's like, yeah, you're unbelievable for about 3 days. They don't have to live with you, right? Because like, the point that she's making is like, I don't stop. It's every single morning, 7 days a week. It's like, but that's just the way I'm wired. Like, and that's what I believe in. You can't just go to the gym for a week and all of a sudden you're fit. It's like the rest of your life.
It's a practice.
It's a practice. Everything, it's just over and over and over every day. And so yeah, I think anybody would get frustrated. It's relentless. It just it never ends.
Is it fair to say that you don't like stillness?
Well, I mean, a lot of people say, Joe, stop and smell the roses. My response to that is, well, who the fuck waters them, trims them, and fertilizes them? There's a reason there's roses to smell. Somebody gotta do the work. I want to do 3 lives in one. Like, you don't get it, you don't put another quarter in. So I want to get it all in. And I saw my mother die at a young age. I saw people go to jail at young, like they just disappear, they're gone. You just want to get it all in. You want to, like, you don't want to waste any time. It's such a gift.
Does that relate to why you gear yourself towards very extreme experiences?
When you do extreme stuff, like, you feel alive. When's the last time somebody came up to you and said, oh, I wish I stayed on the couch longer last night. I wish I had a little more ice cream. Like, it just doesn't happen, right? But you do say, man, as tough as that thing was when we snowshoed those 80 miles, like, you talk about the rest of your life. It was amazing.
Yeah.
You sat down after we hiked yesterday and you were like elated. But what that means is the accomplishment, the medal, it means so much. So,
Earn it.
you earned it. What else?